Hub Radio.
Tea Time on hubradio.net.
The Hub Radio.
What's going on, everybody? We're back on the Hub Radio. This is another episode of Tea Time. You already know what it is. I'm Witty B, and this is the show where we usually are talking about cannabis and all the entrepreneurs and the different people in the industry helping to push the movement forward. I wanted to switch things up a little bit, and change the entire kind of premise of the show for a day. We talk to a lot of artists and everything like that, and myself being an artist, and a lot of people I know being artists, and pretty much everybody I know, and everybody I'm around my whole life, hip-hop culture has been a main thing in all of our lives. So what I wanted to do was do a panel talking about the current state of hip-hop and dig deep on some of the different things going on just in the culture and getting the views from some artists on the underground level. So it's been a crazy day. I had a couple people coming through. I had Yellow Boots coming through. She'll be here a little bit. Tony Diamonds couldn't make it. Shout out to Tony Diamonds. But we still got the homegirl, Unspoken Views here.
What up,
We
what
got
up?
Tobias Malachi in the building.
What's good?
And we got my lady Cam in the building.
Hi.
And so we're going to dig deep on this. First of all, what I want to do, you can see I'm rolling up. Usually what we do is like a herb of the day. So I have a couple pre-roll. We'll sniff and smell the herb and all that, and we'll talk about it. But what I want to do is kind of get to know you guys a little bit better before we get into this panel, so everybody just knows how hip-hop has affected your lives and where you guys are in this culture and in this community. So we'll start with Unspoken Views.
What's going on?
What's happening
the
with
deal?
you?
It's been a long time,
It's
man.
been a long time.
Been a
First
long
time we came across paths, we were doing like a cypher. This was like a year and a half ago, like you
Yeah,
said. It's been a
yeah.
while. Time flew. Since then, I've been seeing you all over the place doing your music thing, dropping singles, dropping freestyles,
Yeah.
crazy freestyles on social media.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So yeah, just tell the people who you are, where you're coming from, and what it is that you do.
All right. Well, I go by the name of Unspoken Views. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here. So
Yeah.
thank you, Brittany, for inviting me out, and Whitney, of course, for having me. This is awesome.
No
Shout
doubt.
out to Hub Station for putting all this stuff together too. So yeah, I go by the name of Unspoken Views. I'm from Fullerton, California. Right now, just focusing on my mixtape, which is going to be dropping December 5th. I'm calling it Carroll Drive.
Carroll Drive?
Carroll Drive.
Kale Drive.
Carroll.
Carroll Drive. What's
Yeah.
that? What's that coming from?
Carroll Drive is the street I was born and raised on. This mixtape is just pretty much, I want to say I dedicated to my family. This is my first mixtape. My family just, everybody moved all over the place, and I just decided to stay back in California
Okay.
and just do my thing. So it's like sink or swim, you know what I mean? But I definitely want to put this out. It's coming from a place from my heart.
Yeah.
And, Carroll Drive is where I learned everything. You know what I'm saying? My grandmama raised me. So
This is out in Fullerton, or where's this at?
yeah, this is in Fullerton.
Really?
This is in
Yeah,
Fullerton,
yeah.
Orange County. I'm an Orange County baby.
That's
out
crazy,
there.
yeah.
But my grandma's from the South, so like that gunniness, that like, I be having some time on the track.
Yeah.
It's, my grandma was like a for real gangster, and I love her for that. So this mixtape definitely allows you to see all different kinds of sides of me. I'm giving, different emotions, and I'm not just rapping on songs, I'm singing too. So my style and my sound is very versatile, it's very universal.
Yeah.
And I just want people to feel good when they listen to it.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, feel good music. So
That's what's up.
That's
That's
what
what's
I'm
up.
coming with.
You're a real soulful artist, and ever since I first met you, that's really been kind of your whole thing. You really give a piece of yourself. I know a lot of artists like that, where it's like when you first meet them on the outside, they're real reserved, they're real kind of like introspective, but in their music, they give you a lot of themselves,
Yeah, yeah.
and they put a lot out there. That's what I really like about your music, because you don't have to be upfront in everybody's face all the time with your personal life, but when you give it your music, you give it your all, you give them your all, your life, your pain,
Right.
and that's dope. That's dope. I like that about
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no
Thank you.
doubt. So also we have here my man Tobias Malachi. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man.
First time I came across you, we had that the R&B poetry night it was a few Sundays ago at the Vampire Lounge out in Beverly Hills. Dope show.
Event, I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. It was funny seeing all the white people walk out the window and they was like, what's going on tonight? And they're peeking their heads. And
Hey, y'all packed that place out. It was a really.
it was interesting.
Did a great job.
Yeah, man. So tell us about what it is you do, where you're coming from, and yeah.
My name is Tobias Malachi. That's Tobias Malach. I everywhere, you know, and Taz. You can look that up too. But I'm from South Jersey actually, Atlantic City area. A lot of casinos, a lot of different things there. And about a place called the Ville. You couldn't find it on the map. I came out here not too long ago, about a month, a little more than a month now.
Okay, so you ain't even been out here in this area that long.
Nah,
Yeah.
nah.
Where are you staying at right now?
I'm out in Hollywood.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, so you right in the middle of it then, yeah.
It's a bit weird because I don't know the area that well yet.
Yeah.
I've been real fortunate since I've been out here.
Okay.
And even before, you know.
Yeah.
I just recently, not too long ago, I released my project, The Sixth Sign.
The 6 9.
It's my sixth project.
Okay.
I've been doing music for about 6 years. So,
Okay.
You know, there's a part 1 and a part 2, and we're actually about to pull them both to get remixed, remastered,
Okay.
so they could be available on Spotify and iTunes.
Where can they find you right now?
Right now, you can find them on Audio Mac, but you can find me anywhere like music's really available. YouTube, Audio Mac,
Okay.
SoundCloud.
Okay,
you know,
cool,
all the
cool.
other platforms.
I always ask people coming from different states who do music the same questions because I'm curious, just like, what's the difference? So, like, you've been doing music for like 6 years now,
Yeah.
so you've been killing it out in Jersey,
Yeah.
basically. So, what's the difference in the industry and how things run out there compared to how things go out here?
Honestly, the platforms are different.
Mm.
Like where I'm from, I didn't learn about like BMI and like other forms of selling your music.
Yeah.
Until I got out here. Out there, we release a lot of mixtapes. We release heavy content constantly. You know, a lot
Yeah.
of pressure.
Yeah.
I also feel like it's a lot more competitive out where I'm from. Here, it's more like you guys tend to come together more. Like, out there, we had each other's necks.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to.
It's all, because I think since it's all like street shit, it's all mixtapes and stuff, it's all like whoever running the streets making the most
Exactly.
money at the time.
If you ain't got the streets locked down,
There's no commercial avenue where
Nah.
everybody can kind of eat. Yeah, it's like, okay.
Yeah. So but since I've been here, well, I released the project just before I came out here. I actually only came out here to live because I came out for an event called Team Backpack.
Okay, yeah, I've heard about that.
Ago,
Yeah, that's
2
what's
years
up.
ago, I did it in Brooklyn, and I got the invite to come back again.
Okay.
This year in LA, and I just fell in love with it, man. It's so
Yeah.
chill out here. The weather's beautiful. The weed is amazing.
Hell yeah. Word.
You know. So and I just feel like it was a lot more conducive to like a work environment. Like I said, I've been studying up on my business as far as like getting my label off the ground.
Yeah.
You know, and I've been getting a lot of videography work out here as well.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm not the experienced of a videographer. I want to say I bought my first camera like a year ago.
Okay.
But out here, I've been working with this place called the Zen Lounge.
The Zen Lounge. That sounds
South
familiar.
there.
Yeah.
Justin works there.
Yeah, where I and
Justin?
Oh,
yeah,
Justin.
He does sound
Oh, okay.
Justin
Yeah.
Jackson, great guy.
Shout out Justin Jackson. Yeah.
there.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Small working world.
We're doing a lot of work with them, and we're actually going back there tonight for Tisha Campbell's birthday. That's fun.
Okay. Okay.
It's her birthday tonight.
Tisha
and-
Campbell from Martin Tisha
Yeah,
Campbell?
Gina.
That's crazy.
Damn, Gina.
Gina, no.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
That's fun. That's dope. All right there.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I've been very fortunate in that regard. I'm actually trying to make more music connections out here, so that's when I heard about your poetry event. I wrote poetry when I was like 13, 14.
Okay.
Had some old stuff. I was like, let me dust it off and
Yeah.
see if they like it. Alright.
That's cool. That's perfect.
I feel like I'm running my mouth now.
No, that's perfect. We gotta get a good feel of who you are, so this
True,
panel really,
true.
make some sense to everybody. Like, why are these people talking about this? Because we ain't like no superstars up here, but we are the people that really, matter when it comes to hip hop. It's not the people at the top. It's the people at the bottom. It's people in the middle. The people that really make up the culture. So
Underdogs.
the underdogs. You know what I'm saying?
Underdogs.
People on the grind. So Cam,
Hi.
let the people know who you are. I think you was on the show last week, so they
I
learned
was
a
on
little
the
bit
show
about
last
you.
week.
They got a little taste of Cam.
A little taste. That's the name of my mixtape dropping next week. I'm just
A
playing.
little taste of Cam. Go ahead and let them know who you are, where you coming from, and what you do.
I am from the hub, so I'm from Compton. What's good? Hey Tony, how you doing?
Yeah.
He told me that I couldn't make it. Hey,
What's up, Tony?
I'm from Compton. raised here, whole life. That's just where I came from. So what else are we talking about? I don't have no projects dropping. I don't.
But what are you working on right now? You gotta. I mean,
yeah,
technically, you got a lot of projects working on.
Hey, Lanisha. Yeah, I'm actually working on a lot of projects. So I manage like 5 artists right now. And they're all working on projects, which means I'm working on a lot of projects. So that's how that goes.
Yeah. Shout out New Harmony Productions. Her and
Yellow Boots is on her way. Thank
I
God.
almost called her by her government.
Here.
Should be out here like 12:30. Shout out Yellow Boots, New Harmony. Yes. These 2 ladies been pushing, doing a lot of work. She's being real modest right now because they grind hard, putting on shows.
I feel like I can't do none of what I do without a team. So for me to be like, look at everything I'm doing, it's not even.
I feel it.
Right. So if it wasn't for the team, Jasmine, Dre, Lyric, all y'all, I wouldn't be doing shit. Yeah. I would be at home depressed. So let's be real about it. Yes, we're working on some stuff. We got the event that's coming up next Saturday, the Smoke Out. And I think that's the biggest thing I'm focused on right now. Just that and same thing, getting out there, making connections, figuring some shit out, meeting some people.
Yeah. You guys are going to see a lot more of her on the show. You definitely going to see a lot more. Especially if you're coming out to these events, you're going to see a lot more. So we're going to get into this break, and we're going to get into the first part of the panel. Yeah, we got some music from Lil Uzi coming up. We're doing
Fo. That's my shit.
I love that song. I love this whole damn album. It's live. So let's get into that. Go ahead, T. Let's get this money.
Okay, I'm ready. Breathe in, breathe out. Shake that ass, speed up, go fast, slow down. Breathe in, breathe out. Shake that ass, speed up, go fast, slow down. Bull. Million on me. Jay-Z, count off, fun nigga, pay me.
Pull up, walk in, everybody yell like watch out. Got it too lit like pipe down. No, I can't wait, need it right now. Get guap on the one, who she like now? Count it up from the morning to the night now. That's the reason that a nigga wanna fight now. Come on down and shine like a lighthouse. Pull up, walk in, everybody yell like watch out.
Breathe in, breathe out. Shake that ass, speed up, go fast, slow down. Breathe in, breathe out. Shake that ass, speed up, go fast, slow down. Bull. Million on me. Jay-Z, count off, fun nigga, pay me.
Whoa. Fuck your bitch, I'm bored, rock star, that's of course. White girl like Lord, she don't really get too impressed. The Accord, long as she get her beauty rest, then I'm on board. Got that girl wet, she need 3,000. Call my phone like every day on speed dial. 100,000 new watch, got like $3. I don't eat out, hit once, leave out. Breathe in, breathe out. Shake that ass, speed up, go fast, slow down. Back it up, rock it up, told that bitch, back it up. 30 nails, hammer tough, so there's no way that you jamming us. Breathe in, breathe out. Shake that ass, speed up, go fast, slow down. Breathe in, breathe out. Shake that ass, speed up, go fast, slow down. Bull. Million on me. Jay-Z, count up, fun nigga, pay me. Pull up, sauce, got the drip, farm, bras, like 'em, mix, bull, dog, with a pitch, bull, dog, with a grip, bull. Million on me, Jay-Z, count up, fun nigga, pay me. All these niggas, yeah, hate me. Why? Covered in that water, waist deep water. But I've been that loud, just me. My niggas pulling up, 8 deep. What's up?
Breathe in, breathe out. Shake that ass, speed up, go fast, slow down. Breathe in, breathe out. Shake that ass, speed up, go fast, slow down. Bull. Million on me. Jay-Z, count up, fun nigga, pay me. Breathe in, breathe out. Shake that ass, speed up, go fast, slow down. shake that ass, speed up, go fast, slow down. Bull, 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 million on me, Jay-Z, count off, fun nigga, pay me.
What's up, everybody? We are back on Tea Time, hubradio.net. I'm Witty B. We got unspoken views. We got Tobias Malachi. We got Cam from New Harmony Productions in the house. We're waiting on some other people to come through, but we're gonna go ahead and get this panel started. You already know what we do. Usually, we're talking about cannabis and the industry, and everybody hoping to push that movement forward. But cannabis is also a very integral part in hip hop. So I wanted to talk a whole lot about that today. So instead of like going in on like, you know, the archives and where hip hop came from or where we started, I wanted to start on like where hip hop is now and the effects it's having on the entire world. Something that came from the boroughs, it came from, you know, one small area, and now there's Asians rapping, there's people in Germany rapping, there's
All
people in
over the world,
Australia
yeah.
rapping.
Yeah.
It's a global thing. The style, everybody's dressing hip hop, the way everybody talks is hip hop, the slang that is created worldwide. It's affected more, you know, it's a cultural epidemic. I mean, in a positive way, but also in just, I want to get more into that. What do you think it is about hip hop in general that really makes it so worldwide and culturally impactful?
If you control the majority, you control the world. And even though they want us to believe otherwise, black people are the majority.
So you feel like the reason that it's so big right now is because the majority, like the black people, whatever you want to call black people in every community, is the majority of the people. So you control what they like.
I mean, in part, because, I mean, when you think about it, we've always been, like, the creators of what's cool. So if they can't take something from us, they're going to capitalize off of it, right? So you got rock music, you got country, you got all that stuff that came from us, right? Yeah. But they were able to take that and flip it. You can't take hip-hop like that. Right. So if we decide what's cool and they start putting money behind that, everybody wants to be like us, but nobody wants to be like us. We got that other side, too.
I wasn't even thinking to take it there.
No, you got to take it there, because as you said, it's hip hop in itself is not just music. It is literally a culture built off of music.
Absolutely.
And when you think of how many times, like as she mentioned, we had our music ripped from us. You know, they take it and they capitalize off of it and they flip it. And this is hip hop is something that's ingrained in culture. And it's actually a culture. When you really think about the essence of hip hop, it's a culture of bringing a medley of sounds together. You take different parts of different.
You rip songs from disco when you throw some African drums on there.
You add your own flavor though. Yeah. It's not like you're not stealing. You're being inspired.
Yeah.
It's literally a culture built off of music and inspiration.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think hip hop really started that whole like the ability, instead of using instruments, turning sounds into instruments.
Yeah.
You know, so it wasn't necessarily like you had to have a piano or a guitar. You just had to have a 8-track or a record, and you could turn that, flip that, and turn that into an entirely new song.
Exactly. In a way, I feel like we lost that. We kind of lose that authentic sound.
Yeah.
Of hip hop. Like the more technologically advanced we get,
right.
the more you lose.
A lot of niggas ain't really playing instruments like they used to. Like,
no.
Like
yeah,
niggas, Jimi Hendrix used to.
What?
Exactly. Like, Bootsy Collins used to rip like
we
Chuck
got
Berry.
Legends. People.
Running deep through all the music game. I mean, like, yeah.
Killing shit, and I don't really see too many niggas like on stage with a guitar. And then kind of back to what you was talking about, like where hip hop is now. I want to hate this shit so bad, like, because I'm like, it all sounds the same, but it's like you can't even knock it, my nigga. Like these. You can't knock it.
Yeah. Like,
you're going to find it and find yourself moving to it or dancing to it, grooving to it in some kind of way. Even when I try to sit still, like, that Uzi shit that you just banged right now, I'm like, all right.
At first, you're not going to like it.
It's kind of like, okay, another little Uzi track. But that shit was like, stand up.
That's my whole fucking life with Uzi right now. Like,
you can't deny it.
You can't steal rhythm. You can't steal flavor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You just can't deny it.
And that's something that hip hop really brings.
And that's where we were so genius in it, because it's like, all right, we made this hot. Now, how can we take it to another level and still keep people intrigued? And then, you know, now we have all this. I don't even want to call it just trap music, because not a lot of these niggas ain't just talking.
Do you guys feel like?
I hate when they group people together, you know, call them mumble rappers. Because if you really listen to these rappers,
They saying a lot.
Very
They,
different.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love Future's Know the Meaning. Like,
Yeah.
because he really talking about, like, how his DJ got locked up and then he had to start over in his music. Like, Future is deep. Future is hella deep.
It's
He's
a
one
different
those
way of
niggas that I
expressing
fuck with.
yourself, yeah.
Yeah.
So, from what I'm saying, so do you guys feel more that it's, when it comes to how it's become such a worldwide phenomenon, that it's more so on the hands of the corporation and the marketing, and then not particularly because of the contagious style that comes with hip hop itself? Do you think that if it wasn't for, because of the corporations and stuff like that, wasn't for the corporations, it would remain something that would be like a hub, something that would
No.
be more like a,
Absolutely not.
you think it was just
Absolutely
meant to
not.
spread?
Because there's always going to be someone that be like, yo, that's hot. Like,
Mhm.
you know, I don't even think it has anything to do with the corporations. Like you said, you know, everybody want to be black till it's time to be black. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I mean, yeah, they making money off of it, but I don't think it still would have not blown up, because somebody would have been like, you've never heard of this before, you've never seen this before, like, you have to come see this. Eyes will always be drawn in this attention, because like you
There's
said,
talent,
it's so
there's
cool.
attention.
Yeah.
And like at the end of the day, it's always gonna be marketable, but it's who's making the money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Who's making the money
Right.
at the end of the day?
I think what a turning point was where a lot of like the pioneers of hip hop started getting smart and started learning like the business side of shit, because then when they started making their own money that wasn't dependent on their label, they were able to flip. So like we were watching a little Def Jam yesterday, and he was able to start a whole movement of black comedians off of his money because he learned the business side
Yeah.
of stuff. So I think once we got to a point where we were a little bit more self-sufficient, that kind of changed the game period. So it might not be so much the corporations now, but it was. Like, does that make sense? Like, that's where the money came from. And
Yeah.
corporations
Yeah.
really do control everything, as much as we try and believe
Until
we got
we
some
learn
kind of
how
power.
to be the corporations
Yeah,
ourselves.
absolutely.
Right.
So here's the good question when it comes to that. Then, is it still solely black culture and a black thing, or does it represent more than that now? And yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Definitely
It's
more
like-
than that
yeah.
now. I mean, like, we got Cap G, who's like a Hispanic cat.
Yeah.
Also, like, but he sounded like a nigga when I
Yeah.
heard him. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, yeah, it's way more.
What would you
diverse
say? What would you
now.
say it represents now? Because I mean,
Cause look, you gotta think about it. When Vanilla Ice came out back in the day, it was like, who is this white nigga like really trying to? But we kind of gave him his card,
Yeah.
like, okay, nigga, like that's Vanilla Ice, just how Eminem, like, you know what I mean? But those be the type of niggas that's for us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I guess that kind of puts it in perspective too, cause, and that allows other artists to be like, all right, well, this guy's doing it. I'm, you know, black or Indian or Mexican, Chinese, whatever. Like, nigga, I can do this shit too. How come he gets to hop on and I can't get on? Why? Because I'm not black. You know what I'm saying? So that lane really opened and people got a lot more comfortable with just seeing it, what it should be. Like, you know what I mean? Everybody should have an opportunity to do something great. Who gives a fuck? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, thank you for being a part of the culture. Thank you for appreciating the culture. I think that says that a lot.
Right. So, what would you say the culture represents now? 'Cause I mean, that's definitely what it started off as. It was a way for, it was just like, yeah, it was just a way to sub
I think
away from
now-
all the other stuff, and it grew into something so much more. What would it stand for now?
I think now it's more so like, look, you know, black people got a story to tell, but I'm Mexican and I got a story to tell too, or I'm white and I got a story to tell too, and
But there's so many-
and that's kind of that. It's genius because it's like we get to see unity, not so much as we like to now, like the whole NFL shit going on and stuff like that. But this just allows people to see like diversity exists. Like everyone from a different background has something to say, and it's beautiful. Who cares? Like it's not about this was black first and white people are trying to take it, because there's white people and other races that respect our culture so much. You know what I mean? And that's beautiful. It's kind of like trying to get people to pay attention and wake up. Like, yo, like we're all evolving as people. We are coming together. Music is bringing us literally together.
Right.
So it's people are just it's going over their head though. They're not seeing that. Just kind of like, all right, you know, this nigga's white and he raps, or he's Mexican, he's black, but it's like, you're not understanding, like, they took the time to understand and appreciate what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of have mixed feelings on that.
Do you?
I do. Okay, so the way that I feel about it is like, it's kind of the same.
It's kind of hard not to be like contradicting.
My thing is like, so if you ask me,
Or
is hip hop
biased,
still
if you
black?
will.
I say yes.
Right.
There are exceptions to the rule because there are people like Eminem who actually do give a fuck about us, right?
Right.
But then you got people like Macklemore that are going up against Kendrick for a Grammy or whatever they were going up against, and he wins best hip hop album, and he definitely was not the best hip hop album. So
Oh,
then you
shit,
start getting
yeah.
that gentrification, and that's kind of where the lines get blurred. So I feel like if you appreciate what we're doing, you're doing it because you appreciate it. That's fine. But if you're doing it because you see the money and you just want to be one of us without being one of us, and you want to take that over, that's what I have an issue with.
Culture vultures.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
is a real thing. I
Which,
mean,
I mean, we know.
and
so.
that I mean,
Culture
yeah,
vultures.
and
We know so.
that's something. I mean, in a situation like that, that has to be
You
talked
can't
about
rap and
because
talk about you support Trump.
yeah, because even though like you said,
At
it
the
is,
same
That
time,
is-
you
that
can't do
don't go.
both.
That
No,
don't
yeah,
it
they don't go,
go.
and there's a lot of
They
people
don't
who do that, and I know people.
There's a lot. Yeah,
who
we
do
know
that.
some personally.
And it's like you just can't. I mean, you just
you
can't
can't have it
because-
both ways.
So
How
if
can
they
you be
like, I
part of-
voted for Trump and fuck how you feel type
Pretty
of
And,
thing?
but
Like,
you're still
Yeah.
gonna do hip hop and rap, but it be hip hop because like things like I said, those blurred lines. Where it's like, okay, it's all it is a platform. All it is a style. All it is a new way. You don't gotta sing now, so you have a new way of basically putting your feelings out
It's
there.
almost like I want
a
to do
new
music
medium.
so bad, but I have no talent, so let me go be a rapper, and I'm not with
And,
that.
and usually it's not even because of that, because you can always there's all kinds of different music you can do when it comes to like you can't
Absolutely,
sing. You can
but
you see what's popping. This is what's
Right.
popping, and this is what
and
what
this is
you
where
like.
the music is, and I have
So
no
how can
talent.
you be
right.
against what the culture really stands for and
Right.
still be a part of the culture?
Mhm.
And like I said, and other people who don't really care about the culture in general and just see the come up.
Right.
I mean, that's what I mean. That's really something that right now you really only see it in hip hop. There's no culture vultures in rock. If you're doing rock and roll, it's most
But how
likely
can you
'cause
culture
really
vulture
like it.
like in rock? Because I mean, what is
'Cause-
white culture?
Elvis did it.
That's true, but it's like how
But that
Elvis
was
did
when
it.
rock was still black. That's
Right.
how he was able
And
to
that's what
vulture
happened.
off
Then
of
you
that.
gentrif-
That's what I'm saying.
then
How
it
do you
becomes-
justify what's already white?
And you say, in these days, you want to, like you say,
Yeah.
you want to grade those lines. You want to look at, say, and like I say, there are people who understand these things. And with any culture, I think is like, say with like somebody who's walking around wearing like we was talking about like cultural appropriation, wearing like a Indian headdress or something like that, and calling it like rave attire or something like
Right.
that.
Okay.
Now you can wear it, and that's dope, and it's cool, and I like shit. Like I wear camo and shit like that. But somebody who's in the army that just
Pissed
came out
off
the
you got
army,
camo
or
on,
some Native
yeah.
American who's really deep into their culture might be pissed off you wearing that.
Right.
But
just
you wear
just how like I mean shit. If a white boy walked in with a velour fucking baby blue FUBU jumpsuit and some Air Force Ones, how would you feel about it?
He's like a fucking bozo.
Yeah.
You look dumb as fuck. Who wears that anymore?
Unless you explain where you was coming from.
Like if you was in that time though, like on some
When it was cool. Yeah, he looked crazy.
Like, would you kind of be thrown off? Like, what the fuck? Like, what is he doing? You know what I mean? And like you said, I don't know, man. That
It's hard.
it's hard not to be contradicting with stuff like that.
I feel like hip-hop-
Cause it's like be you, be your own self. What if he genuinely want to wear that, or maybe he trying to be cool? You never
But
know.
in the same sense, right? One of the hottest hip hop songs in the country right now is sampled from what? Carlos Santana
Yeah.
guitar,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So in the same sense, hip hop is a melting pot. It is literally. It started in black culture in a small borough, and it has grown to. It's a melting pot where we take and we borrow, and I hate that word take. We get inspired by other artists, right? And you see it all the time, and then you flip that and you add your own.
Your own
And,
flavor.
yeah.
But we got hella flavor. Like
Exactly.
authentically though, like we're just like that. Like
I think that's people of color in general. It's just we all got that rhythm that because our cultures are just very, very different. Just very.
I met a few
That's what we
people,
got.
a few black people that can't dance.
Yeah, all the time.
That's like here and there, but like when you in an area like niggas that are just like with shit, like everybody is cutting up in some way or form, and that's why people love us because we're just like, what music's on, nigga? Ain't no music right now, and I'm dancing. What you talking about? Like
I think that's a
we
good way to
just
transition.
create
Let's jump
that
ahead real quick. But when it comes to, like you said, we just have natural flavor. People of
Right.
color, niggas in general, just have natural flavor. And when it comes to hip hop, it's gonna probably remain for a very long time the hot thing. So when it comes to hip hop artists right now, especially in the underground scene, there seems to be a lot more so than I think, more so than what I've seen in any other, category of entertainment being taken advantage of. Artists that have to, pay to play and don't get paid for their time. For a lot of rock shows, rock artists, even on the underground, you doing the show. If you're not getting paid, you most likely you're not paying for a slot, but you're usually getting paid. Rock shows,
or you getting drinks comped, or you're getting
something.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting paid though, I was watching this interview. I think it was Ebro and Waka. And Waka, as we know, like that nigga's touring now. But he was like, I put out Flockavelli years ago and still didn't get paid like that for it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Especially artists like Waka and people coming from we don't have direct information, especially back in then where direct information wasn't either being put out or wasn't even popular to be looking into it for yourself.
Right.
So they were getting taken advantage of way more so than any other. Having to pay to play, getting very little financial support, being exploited by their labels, usually leading to having to, a lot of artists, and probably in general, the majority of hip hop artists go to some sort of crime, or resort
to be able to pay
for studio time, to be able to pay to get on some big show,
right.
to be able to pay to tour, to be able to pay to get your your outfit for your video, to be able to pay for a video.
Ain't nobody trying to work no 9 to 5 and then try to do music.
No.
It's
at the
hard.
same time.
Yeah.
It's hard.
And so when it comes to your labels, you do all this, you get on a label, you go to jail, your label owns your music, they're not bailing you out. Case in point, what's his name? Bobby? OG.
Bobby Shmurda.
Bobby Shmurda.
Oh, yeah, because that nigga blew
His past life was crazy, blew up a couple songs, went to jail. They're not bailing him out. They're not doing
still
nothing
making
for
money
him.
off him.
And they still making money off his
Absolutely.
music. And the type of deal he got in was most likely a deal where he had to pay off all the money that they gave him before he makes any, and he's still going to make money off the back end.
Damn.
And that's just how those deals work. Like, people don't understand, 360 deals or
yeah.
all different types of this. It's just like when people give you this money, you get excited because they're like, we gonna give you $1 million. But you don't understand, it's like, okay, you use this $1 million, but we want it all back, and we want more money after that.
Right.
For the next 5 years. Or like how Baby does his contracts, where it's like, or how other, do a label contract. There was a lot of people who, came out big, and you're like, where'd they go? If you get on a contract and you're on a contract for 5 years that you came, or 5 albums,
right.
but your label decides you only gonna put out that one, we don't really want to put out these next 4, then you stuck in that contract and you can't put out no more music because they own those next 4 albums of yours.
Put out, yeah.
And so and that happens a lot with hip hop artists. I guess I want to say, why do you think it's been such a? Is it just because of a color thing again?
Some of it, I would say, because we've always been.
The world.
Yeah, I would say we've always been kind of taking advantage of it in that sense, and it didn't always start with music. It was always all kind of different things. So it was back in the the 50s and 60s when they were using us as experiments and injecting us with syphilis and all kind of other stuff. That's just been the wave of what's always been going on. So I feel like when it comes to that. I feel like because they know we're a little more desperate, we don't have generational wealth like that.
Right.
We don't have generations of generations. Our generational wealth is because my daddy was a rapper and now I got money too. We don't, or he was some kind of entertainer. We don't have like my family has owned this business since 1825. We don't have that.
Right.
So for us, we're all kind of hustling and trying to make money. So if somebody's dangling in your face like, hey, give me this and you'll make this.
Yeah.
I'm running for it.
My family needs to eat.
We don't
Regardless of whatever's behind that.
We don't know any better, yeah. We just trying to get out of our situations and with all the redlining and the way that they keep us in the urban communities and stuff like that. Because I know coming up in Compton, my thing was I just want to get the fuck up out the hood, right? So if somebody was coming to me with an opportunity where I was not only going to get out the hood, but I was going to live comfortably somewhere that was safe, quote unquote, safer, or whatever the case is, I was probably going to go for it because I wanted to get out so bad. And then it got to a situation. I mean, it just depends on who you are. Because now I'm in Orange County and I want to come back. So I'm like,
right. But I mean, that's definitely. And I suppose maybe it's not even the color thing. It's just like knowing you can get these people in these areas. These aren't people who are funding themselves.
Because it's not
or
only white people that are doing it. It's other black people that are making money off of you. They're making you pay $50 to perform for 10 minutes, and they pocket all that shit.
It's the biggest thing. It's the people in the community that's really running the community ragged. It's the reason. It's like, especially here in California. I know you only been here a month, so it's like. The community here, when it comes to art, everybody does something, so we do come together a lot.
It depends, yeah.
But there is a lot of people out here who just want to get that money and who just
Right.
regardless.
Let's just say for the record, pay to play is some bullshit.
Pay to play is
Let's just say
bullshit.
it. Let's just put.
Because
why
if you
are
go out to
paying do
Atlanta,
your job.
you're getting if you go to Atlanta, the community is just different. I mean, there's shows you pay to play that may help you get your money back, but you shouldn't be paying no $800 deposit.
Bro, I just had this conversation on the phone with my boy Jiggy. I met him when I was in Miami last month, and I'm not gonna say too much, but I had did this little event shit or whatever, and I'm like, when it all boils down to it, why am I paying you
to do my job?
to do what the fuck I'm here to do? Like, you should be investing in me.
Right.
Like,
Makes
there's
sense.
something
Right.
wrong about this. So I was like,
I think
nigga, that shit is scamish as fuck.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
And
everybody
that's
did it like
fucked up.
once or twice until you realize, wait, it's
Yeah.
some dumb shit.
Like, you
Yeah.
got
When you really
got
think about it, you got
got
got.
like a
You got got.
motherfucker.
Like for real.
And I was
and
doing
no
everybody. I
shit
think all
you
artists,
like.
especially in hip hop, be doing that shit for years until you you just like, oh fuck it, yeah, I got it. Let me go do what I got to do to get this money to get
Right.
to do this. You do what I got. But at the end of the day, you gotta pay for your studio. You gotta pay for your video. You gotta pay for this. You
It's
gotta,
something that I knew was an issue, but I think like working with Jasmine, who's more R&B, is when I really started to see it, because I've got venues that are contacting me like, hey, can she perform for 45 minutes and she gets 15% of bar sales? Like, wait, what? What do you mean? Like, just nothing. They're like, yeah, if she can bring 10 people out, we have the Vampire Lounge packed out, and even though that 15% didn't really make shit,
And that's
it
even
was
things
still
with a
like,
lot of hip-hop.
you don't get that for
It was
rap.
offered, yeah. It
Yeah,
was
but they
offered.
wouldn't even let us do hip hop
Yeah.
there, so it was like, okay, so you have no choice but to just singers, poets. Even though we kind of putting the poets in there, it's kind of our way of slipping some little hip hop in there, a little bit. But
and it's a lot of venues
yeah,
like
no,
that.
they don't even offer that for rap, not
if
at
you
all.
tell them you doing hip hop, either they'll charge
Some
you
of- or
they
they'll
won't
say
let you.
no.
Yeah, or they just say no.
They'll
But
straight up
and
rap.
that's because they don't never know what you're coming with.
Right.
And they're not gonna be like, okay, a lot of the times they won't say send me the song so I can hear if it's appropriate. It's just kind of like, we're
Nope.
gonna trust that you're gonna do what you do because this is what you guys do clearly.
Right.
And then if they hear some shit and you fuck up they shit, it's like that's out.
Right.
And you can only imagine how many niggas have done that shit and ran with it
Yeah.
and fucked it up for
For
the rest
some of them,
us.
and then some of them it's just never been open to. But I feel like when it comes to hip hop, we're speaking our truth. So I feel like if you're not ready to take all of it,
Then
you
don't
probably
need it
shouldn't
at
have
all.
us there. Period. Because even
Yeah.
though I don't like to condone, like the shooting and how much you hate women and all kind of other stuff. That's their truth. So I feel like for me to be like, that's a hard one too. But like, we're speaking our truth. So I feel like to put parameters on it, like as long as we're in the line of Chance the Rapper and not really like DMX, it's okay.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
That was a broad ass line right there.
Right, she had to make that real quick, yeah.
Broad ass line. But I think that kind of segues in a good thing too. When it comes to just artists like that in venues, just seeing a bunch of artists just coming out and either not being top of the ball or bringing a lot of just like ruckus with them and things
Right.
like this. We're in a new era now where it's the digital era, so things have changed. There's an oversaturation of artists. There's, especially when it comes to hip hop, because it don't take no work to be a hip hop artist. When really when we're
Not
recording,
really. Let's
you gotta
be
get
real
that
about
good
it.
mixing and
Yeah.
mastering, but if you get a beat and you can record yourself, you can go out there and put out 1 million. You SoundCloud, YouTube songs.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
And you'll be famous like that.
And
If the
beyond.
right
Oh
person
shit!
hear it,
Kayla
make
told
it
me
go-
she need me to let her in.
make it
Hold
go
on.
viral.
Yeah, so you still gonna grab Yellow Boots right now. We're gonna keep this going, and you be famous like that. So it's just a lot more people right now. How do you guys feel about the digital era? I mean, it also has given the ability for a lot of artists to become independent.
You
So
wanna
it's
take
like,
that one first?
Yeah, basically, I think it's beautiful because even the people who can't do it, they do it.
Yeah.
And you never know. You never know what you might discover. It's a lot of stuff out there if you just open your ears.
yep.
You know?
Yep.
And I think that's beautiful that people are choosing this creative outlet.
And I think that's dope too. Go ahead. No, I was gonna say what you say. It just made me think of. I was watching the video the other day where basically it's talking about Lil B. And I don't, I've always hated, couldn't stand.
I
Lil
think
B.
it blew up.
And he blew up. And when you listen to the music tonight, but you see the way the artists are moving now, Little B, off of that digital, him, Soulja Boy, off of that digital era, inspired this entire new era. Because even though they can't do it, they can. It's not saying that they can, because they can.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, people who don't have the real lyrical ability to be going out there and hitting up these big corporations to be like, look at me, I'm the greatest, made an impact. Went out there and made thousands of songs within months and changed an entire generation. So it's like, yeah, when it comes to that,
It's faster. It's faster, and like you have cool apps like Instagram and Snapchat. Like your celebrities are literally in the palm of your fucking hand. Like
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so much
it's
easier to contact them.
crazy. Like if you want to DM them, even if they don't read it, like,
It's there.
you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have that option.
Everybody has access.
It's
Yeah.
pros and cons to it, you know, but the biggest pro I would say is good for the artist because it's like, what if I'm not comfortable getting on stage, but I can sit in front of my phone and post this and know that there's gonna be people that watch it and just feel comfortable with that until I'm ready to expand. You know what I mean? And that's the beautiful thing I
Yeah.
love about being an artist in this time. We're so blessed
Yeah.
for that. I love that.
I think that's a big thing about being an artist too, because a lot of real artists, it's not about a monetary thing. It's really about having something to say, and this is your medium. You know, you really want to get it out to reach other people. You want it to touch other people. So, like you said, having that, being able to just get on your phone and spit a couple bars or say some poetry or speak your mind, and you know, is a beautiful thing because you can just be in your car or in the bathroom or whatever and reach the entire world.
You know what I'm
It's just like on that level, it's just like me, like even as being like a manager or whatever, I don't have the formal training of a manager. I'm only 24, you know what I
Right.
mean? So I'm guerrilla learning in the streets. But I can, not only can I Google any information, but if I want to email an A&R at Atlantic Records,
Yeah.
I can Google the email. Like, I don't even need to go through 18 people to
Yeah.
get to
You know
them
what
no
I'm
more.
saying?
You
I
don't
can shoot
need
it
that
to 'em
plug
now.
no
Yeah,
more.
exactly,
You can be the
no.
plug in this area.
Right.
You can hit
So it's
every
like,
company.
It's just changing.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing. A lot of people, you know, they talk about the SoundCloud era of music and it's too much this, too much that. But at the end of the day, it's like we're in control now.
But you can win SoundClouds off of Grammys now starting next year. Or
That's
you can win Grammys
crazy.
off of SoundCloud
And that's,
starting
I think
next
that's a
year.
real. That should be real. That's
2018, you can win a Grammy off a SoundCloud track.
I think that's
I was just reading that they were supposed to be discontinuing SoundCloud though.
That's what I saw too.
I
But I
think
think
Chance
Chance the
came
Rapper
and
put some money
Yeah.
out.
So he did actually
But y'all
buy
find
it.
that funny though? Y'all find that funny? First, just when
Hey,
Chance
Chance
dropped
the
his
Rapper-
tape. No, when Chance dropped his tape, they made mixtapes available to win a Grammy. Right? Chance buys SoundCloud. Now you can win a Grammy off SoundCloud.
Like he
it might be something. It might be something going on there.
Well, okay, so Chance the Rapper's dad worked for Obama, so he's like a suburban.
That's
kid
the big
that had
thing going
access
on
to
right
money.
now, where everybody
He
finding
wasn't
out
this
he's not like the big
independent,
yeah.
broke ass, no.
That's what
He's
Joe
always
Budden was
had
going
money.
off on him the other
He's
day.
had budget.
Yeah.
He's always had. So he ain't as
All
independent
this
as we
time.
thought.
Yeah.
He just started
I know, you know what I'm saying?
His daddy in
Good
the White
luck.
House. Like, what do you mean?
So
No, it is okay.
it's cool. It's
I
cool.
like Chance.
I like
His-
Chance. Yeah.
My problem
love
with it was
Chance
when
the
he
Rapper.
came out, he was playing it like he was just like this nigga
This
from
normal
Chicago that
Chicago
just had no
kid, you
choice.
Because you gotta understand how people are gonna take that. How
But
young
you
kids
know-
are gonna
Everybody
take
else
that.
did though. Everybody else put that persona on him.
Yeah,
he,
that's
he
true.
knew what he was doing.
He was- yeah.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
you know what humbles Chance is the fact that even though he knows he has all those resources, he still takes the time to get back to his fucking
Yeah.
people.
No, he does. 'Cause he's
Like-
fucking it up in Chicago right now.
Because there's a lot of people
Cleaning shit
that
up.
do. Yeah. Yeah.
He became an artist and cleaned it
Yeah.
up the same place he came from. And that's where I can respect him. You're doing something with your money, bro.
I think
Like,
about
Yeah.
that too. Like all these
So
rappers
what?
that came out of Compton, but what are y'all giving to Compton all
True.
the time?
So
I think
what?
about
Where you
that a
came
lot.
from? So
Yeah.
why? You know. So what? I mean, I get the issue. I mean, I guess I can kind of see from the perspective of where the
Like,
issue
he
was
didn't
coming
necessarily
from.
hide it, but he wasn't necessarily upfront with it either. Which I
You
think
know,
is the issue.
but he was-
Like, he didn't say
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah. He, like you said, he was just speaking his truth. Maybe his truth wasn't really. It wasn't the money that he was getting. It was his truth was the Xanax and the acid and the crazy relationships he was going through. The money just happened to be there. The backup just happened to be there, but that wasn't necessarily enough to make him want to talk about.
It's more than that though. When you listen to Chance, like musically, that man, the music, like the stuff he does on his own projects, the stuff he did with Kanye musically, his mind is amazing.
Yeah.
Put that stuff together.
First of all, his verse on fucking what is that song with Kanye Ultralight Beam? or
Yeah, he
whatever?
killed
That
that.
was amazing.
That
He
shit is amazing.
murked
That
that.
verse was amazing.
Yeah.
The shit he did with his speeches are crazy. Action Bronson, he just
Yeah,
always
yeah.
puts out good content.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Let's see, we're running out a little bit of time. You know what? Yeah, so we're gonna get into this break. I'm gonna continue this conversation into the next part of the panel because we're gonna extend it a little bit, so we fine. We're gonna get into this break, and then I got my man Curtis Young gonna call in. I think we got it's been a long ass day.
He was supposed to. We'll see what's going
He was
on.
supposed to be here. Something happened. He was like 3 o'clock, and so we was like, okay, we just call him in. So if not, we just gonna jump back into the panel. But we gonna get this real quick. All right, let's make some money. See.
The Hub Radio.
Just Cleanup Man. We provide professional, affordable, dependable services from carpet cleaning and upholstery to flooring, 7 days a week, same day or by appointment. So call, text, or message 562-279-6488 for service as good as advertised.
Allow me to give you something to think about. Not everything that comes out of Compton is bad. I mean, we have Dr. Dre, The Game, Kendrick Lamar, Venus and Serena Williams. That little girl with the dream made an Aja Brown. P. Diddy couldn't have said it better. This is the fairy tale, man. And fairy tales do come true because we got millions of cats that are coming up with that hustling spirit and drive. They got that mention in it, that drive. Bill Lyons had that drive to overcome all obstacles. Bill Lyons isn't just a clothing line or just a brand. It's a movement. Bill Lyons is Compton. Compton is Bill Lyons. Respect the perspective. Bill Lyons.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
What if they started making Trump lace fronts? He got no hair up there, but it's all down there. And I mean, it's fine. I don't give a shit. I'm not fucking.
Well, we all know now she's a natural brunette.
A couple minutes.
Oh,
Steve
and we already made it clear. Scumbag Society always will say fuck Steve Harvey.
Fuck that nigga, Steve. Fuck you. Fuck your mustache. Fuck the lady you
Straight
make
like
your
that.
wigs.
Be careful. When we're not around our own, it's certain shit that we just don't say.
That's because we don't want them to get accustomed to thinking that they should be able to.
So I have to catch myself because I've said nigga before in front of white people, and I kind of like pull back, like, wait, I don't want them to think this is cool.
Right. Tune in every Thursday from 7 to 9 to the Scumbag Society Radio on thehubradio.net.
The Hub Radio.
Coco's Lip Smacking Cupcakes offers custom cakes and cupcakes for every occasion. We proudly bake everything from scratch. With every moist and mouth-watering bite, you will be smacking your lips by the time you are finished. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Lip Smacking Cupcakes.
We like Charlene. What's the Everything high end. I'm with the Mozzie. I pop a half a perk. Make a deposit. I am not from the earth. Stay on my fly shit. I'm flying private. On my Dubai shit. On the Ducati. Stunting on them. All of you niggas, my little homies. And some knowledge for you. Stop trying to wipe a thigh, bitch. All the vampires know that we don't go to sleep. We stay up all night. Pop me 2 or 3. The exotic type. Everything high. You see the stars. And my ritual.
Radio.net. You already know what it is. We just got out the first part of the panel. Had a really good conversation. It was dope. Got into a lot of stuff. We're going to get into that right after this interview with my man Curtis Young. I got him on the phone right here via iPhone. How you doing, my man?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, my dude.
Yeah, no doubt, man. You know what? We couldn't get you in the flesh, but it's all good. We got you here in spirit, and that's
for sure.
The spirit is the most important part. Yeah, yeah.
For sure.
The doors are always open, man. Yeah. What you got going on? What you working on?
Still working on the album, man. And a long time in the making. So, I'm working on Product of My DNA still, and then also working on Music and Medicine. So that's
Music and Medicine. Okay, yeah.
That's dropping as well.
You know, I got a chance to research you a little bit, going into some interviews you did, and learn a little bit about you myself. So I wanted to kind of just dive in on some of those things that you said in these interviews to get a deeper just understanding on who you are. So in a few past interviews, you said you were inspired by artists like Pac and Biggie and Rakim and Nas and Wu-Tang. What was it about these artists? I mean, you growing up in Compton, on the west side, but you were really inspired by a lot of, like, I think you said, like, more just of the lyrical side of things. What really got you in?
I always wanted to be an overachiever in anything I ever was doing. Just I like the lyrical, concepts of everything that they was putting together. So, if I had to break it down, of course, it's Pac and then Biggie, and then like a Nas or Jay-Z or Rakim, something like that, And what I liked about them is like the way they would tell a story, and it was educational too at the same time.
Yeah.
It wasn't just something that was laid out like rhymes or whatever, people rhyming together. No disrespect to nobody else, but it was just that's what influenced me.
It was just a lot more technical than some other types.
It was like even with Wu-Tang, I was like, man, half of the words when I was young, I was like, I don't know what they saying, but I want to learn it.
Yeah.
So
they were making up words, the way they were putting the words together.
It was just a good feel, though,
Yeah.
behind it.
Do you remember like the specific moment or the song or video that really made you want to get into hip hop and start doing it yourself?
I think the Triumph, when I heard that from Wu-Tang, it's like a bomb atomically, Socrates Posse, it just was one of those things. Once you heard that, I was like, oh. And then like even the NWA days, a lot of that stuff too. It was just like, that's what definitely was like, man, wow, this is going down. Pac, when he came out, there's a lot of moments. It's a lot of moments.
Yeah, that emotion that Pac bring into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You talked about
when you heard Juicy too, it was just like, what?
You said Juicy, like Juicy J?
No, Biggie.
Oh, Juice. You talking about Juice? Yeah. Yeah. It was just way. Biggie was like way beyond his time when it came his flows and way he was putting songs together. It was like he was thinking way beyond what people at the time were putting songs together like. Cause that's how people are making songs like now, the way their cadences and their flows are going.
Yeah, you're right.
Do you remember you talked about the box and getting videos on the box?
What was that?
You said you talking about something called the box and getting videos on the box. What's that?
Oh, remember the box? I don't know how old you are. Remember back in the day, they had something called the box. It was you would out in Compton, we had it. It was like you would call in and get the video on there.
Okay.
And it was like on the cable channel.
It was on Midtown Public Access.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they had the box. Yeah.
Yeah, cause I'm coming out from Detroit, so I don't know nothing about that. But that's dope. It was like a public access channel. Yeah.
Oh, just in Compton. I don't really know nobody else that had it though in other cities.
That's what's up. What were you getting off of there? Cause you say you was getting videos you wasn't supposed to get. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh man, that was more NWA. It was a lot more about NWA stuff. Like before I even met my pops. Like,
yeah.
I was ordering that, and that was my little go-to, because I would know that the artist could really see the video or could really, get the tape or whatever. Because back then they had the tapes and CDs, whatever. But
yeah. It was a whole different situation. Wasn't no streaming or nothing like that. Yeah, so you couldn't just get it when you wanted it. Yeah.
I still like CDs though, to be honest. I mean, the streaming's cool, but I like to, be able to flip through, and then, sometimes the streaming.
What's the last CD you bought?
In a radius. I think it was J. Cole. Yeah, I would have to say J. Cole.
That last J. Cole album.
Yeah.
Now, what's your? Speaking on that, just real quick before we get into anything else, what was your favorite album of the year so far?
Man, I haven't even got the. Man, I'm still stuck on the old stuff. To be honest with you, I haven't really, tuned in to a lot of this stuff, because I'm just steady doing music and business myself. So I've been wrapped up to, just doing that. To be honest with you.
So we just give it to J. Cole, and we went out and bought the Man CD.
Yeah, stop then. You know what I mean? I haven't. I mean, I hear songs, here and there, but
yeah,
it's when you're an artist, you kind of like tune in, some artists, will listen to different people's music, but I tune in. Sometimes I don't want to get affected.
Yeah.
Somebody's style, because I'm not trying to utilize that. Sometimes you need that for inspiration, So I kind of go back to what was, people that was ahead of their time. You get what I'm saying? Like the Nas's and Pacs and people that with their mindset.
Yeah.
What was they thinking, and that was telling the story.
Yeah.
I'm more intrigued by that. Some people was more intrigued by what's going on in today's society. Of course, I'm intrigued by that too as well. But if I'm trying to stick to pushing my mind on that story and the topic, I want to go back to who did best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So with the legends, what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I feel that completely. So basically, let's move on to this part. When talking about legends and things like that, I do want to talk a little bit about how you came across, your father, knowing Dr. Dre was your father. But I wanted to know specifically when you found out, you were, I think you would say you were about like 12 or so.
11.
You were
actually
11. So,
yeah.
And you said you were already.
I had that, and I found out because in '92 I was 11. So I was like,
yeah, it was right when all that shit was popping.
yeah, it's crazy. I actually found out through my father. His name is Andre. His name is Andre. That raised me, and it was him and my mom was. It was actually an argument at the time, and I came in there, and I'll just tell you guys exactly how it was, because this is a skit in my album. I'll give you guys this one.
Okay.
So it was like, it's funny because I was writing down some stuff for my story that's gonna be coming out. I don't want to say too much, but I will tell you guys this. He was like, basically, it was like, me and your moms. I actually said that's a lot for '92. And he said, wait, you missing out one big part. I said, what's that? He was like, me and your mom was down in the jacuzzi drinking this and that with the neighbors. And then he said, I got drunk, went up upstairs against the apartment, leaned up against the glass, fell through, got arrested. When I came home the next morning, me and your mom got into an argument. You came in here and said, Daddy, son. I was like, nigga, ain't your daddy. And I told you, you want to know your daddy is? You want to know your real daddy is? And when he said that, I was like...
You was already like, what?
I was like, oh. First off, I was like, man, that's crazy. I didn't know it was in '92. And then I was like, dang, this is going to be dope. I'm glad I recorded this. And I got a clean record. And the way my stephouse was, he was just always like... You could ask him anything. I would even ask him stuff to agitate him. Be like, no, it wasn't like that. Just so he'd say it back to me just like that. And I was like, man, you go narrate my whole album the way you're telling me. Cause it just was. It's like it was like it was a movie. He took you to that place right then and there. The way and he raised me and he grew me. When growing up, I grew. He was very smart. You know what I mean? Know how to rebuild cars and do a lot of, take stuff from scratch. Build something. So I learned, different things from him, and it was like, gotta be educated, this and that. Even though I grew up in the, hood, moving 17 times before the age of 18.
Yeah.
Nobody knows my struggles, and that's why, I definitely want to set the record straight with that, because a lot of people don't know. Yeah. The hardest part is being in this shell, being in this body. You get what I'm saying? And being, Dre's firstborn son, and because none of that stuff has no reason, no nothing behind my own skill set. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and that's what's so hard for everybody else to believe. They're like, oh man, your dad the man, it's all good. So I was like, okay, it is in the DNA, so
yeah,
let's believe that, you know.
That's real. That's real. That's definitely something that's like people don't think about. I'm sure. You come across some, living in Compton and being from the hood and being, just in this area. And once you find out, once everybody finds that out, they look at you like you're, that's all they see. But like you said, they don't see the struggle. They don't see, like you said, the moving around and all that, and the things that you had to go through to become who you are. Because none of that really had anything to do with who you are, what you became at the end of the day.
It was verbal and physical abuse on both sides. My parents that raised me, my mom and my pops that raised me. So I went through it all, dude.
Yeah.
Been shot at and everything, bro. Right? You know what I'm saying? So, a couple of times. So it's like, I'm blessed to be here, man. Definitely, all thanks to the man above. So, because I am blessed to be here on this phone.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what people don't know. They think, oh, you silver spoon and you got it good and this and that. No, I still, grind for mine. I don't want nothing from my pops. I don't,
Yeah.
So that's the main thing.
I know. Speaking of, I'm gonna jump a little forward in my conversation, because I know it's context a little bit with what you were talking on. When we're talking about you grind for yours and you do it on your own. You talked about your last job being working at a cell phone company. You know what I'm saying? And so where did you go after that? What did you do after that when you decided that you were done working for people?
It's funny, man. It was like at the time I needed some money, man. I was like, one of my dude, his name was Paymont, and he was like, man, he owned his own cell phone company, and I would go over there and work, and call and try to get people to buy into switching their services to his cell phone company and all these different things. It was cool, at the time, and then he knew somebody that had their own label and everything. And it was like an independent thing. It was like, all right, man, let me introduce you to him. And, he was like, you got some music. I was like, yeah. So I played him my music, and dude was like, man, this is dope, So it was like a lot of on and off things, because, I have a family and everything. So it was like you want to provide. And sometimes you'll go back and give up, but that never will work for me. Every single time, I couldn't stay on the job for 90 days.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. So it's something, it's one of those things like, this was what I was supposed to be doing. So I had to look and say, okay, this is going to be my life. This is what I want to do. So and when you gotta really make that choice to say, you know what, I'm not going to give up. If it gets hard, whatever, let me figure this stuff out. So I took a lot of L's. I learned a lot of lessons, basically. Yeah. And what to do and what not to do in this business. Yeah. And I wanna, I stand for independence. I no disrespect to all the labels out there. I just stand for independence myself, and I want to build it from, just keep my creative control and build something, build an empire, and leave something. Leave a legacy.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. You know what? The first time, I don't know if this is the same situation you were talking about the studio and the label, but the first time I heard about you when I came out here, and I started working with these guys at Studio One out in Corona. And I know you were like a part of that team at the time. I didn't get to meet you, but I met a lot of people on the team. They always talked about you, and I heard that first project you put out over there. And yeah, so was that the same situation you talking about, or was that later on?
No, that was later on actually when they formed that. Yeah, I've been in and here and there, and then it just got to the point where I was like, oh, I'm gonna just do my own thing.
Yeah.
That was one of the issues of me just kind of recognizing, like, I could build this myself and like pretty much be led to the right team that I'm blessed with, and then build it from ground roots instead of like joining somebody else's thing.
Yeah. All right.
Those people, they helped me along the way. I can't, say nothing.
Yeah.
None of them.
That's how it goes.
It took me to recognize that, and I still talk to them too. You get what I'm saying? A lot of them. So it's just a
you still cool with Joey and them? You still cool?
I know them. I haven't spoke with those guys in a while and everything, but everything's good.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
I have a question.
Oh, we got a question over here.
Ask him who be answering his emails.
Oh, Cam said who be answering your emails.
A great representation on our team. She is the co-founder, and she backbone to all of this. So
yeah.
Vanessa,
she got a real colorful vocabulary.
She's super educated.
Yeah.
And, she has a verse background and a lot of different aspects. And one of them happens to be writing for sure.
Yeah. We was like, I know this ain't Curtis emailing us back.
Not talking like that.
It was like,
most definitely.
That's what's up. You got a good team though.
I'm sure probably.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, but it takes the team though.
Yeah.
It definitely takes a team to that's funny.
Yeah.
It takes a team to really do this,
Yeah.
And that's one of the things too. Like I have to get hip to that. You come across certain people. They like to, they want that communication. You wanna, some people they like the emails, or some people like to talk, whatever it is. So you gotta really know how to speak their language. So different aspects.
So I also want to ask, we had Lil Eazy-E on the show not too long ago.
Yeah.
I just saw you. That's your brother. How long you guys known each other?
Man, known and met is different. We known each other a long time, man. But it's funny because we didn't never meet, and we live blocks away from each other. But man, I don't know, man. I honestly don't know how long. If I had to guess, it would probably be like maybe 8-9 years, something like that.
That's crazy. So you say y'all met after you found out who your father was, right?
Yeah, I met y'all.
So did y'all ever come across each other or anything like that before that?
Nah, we didn't actually. It's funny because this was like, actually, it was a little bit after I met my pops. Now I remember. Yeah, it was like the homies in our neighborhood was like, oh man, let's go get with Lil E. Y'all do something, do NWA, this and that. Let's go meet with them, the street. And I was in Compton at the time, and we went over there. Because you said, I stayed on Castlegate. I grew up in the laundry in Castlegate right there. Around the corner from Kelly Park. And I think he was off of Rest or something.
Okay.
But I'm not sure exactly the street, but it was near there, and through, I remember pulling up on him. He outside, and I've got the car deep full of niggas.
Yeah.
We have what's happening, man? Like, let's chop it up. He looking like, what's going on, man? And then we had a good conversation, and then he showed me where my pops and them was working in the backyard and everything on the when they was forming WA at this Problem House and all that. So it's cool.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. I seen pictures of you with DJ Yellow on the end of the Straight Outta Compton tour.
I went on tour with Yellow and E3.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
You was out with Australia?
Yeah, we went to Australia, man. We went to all through Australia, man.
That's crazy.
That was a great tour.
What was the love like?
Spice Alcoholics and E3.
You said Spice One? Spice One?
Spice One was there too.
I was wondering where he went.
Yeah, that's a link on my YouTube page.
Well, yeah, we'll shout that out too before we get out of here. We'll shout your YouTube page out so everybody can check that out. What was that like though? Oh, we gotta start wrapping up the tour. Yeah, I want to know. Yeah, what was that like though? Just being a part of that legacy and like getting the love.
Oh man, it was cool. It's Yella just welcome me in like family, man. And I remember him was like, man, youngster, let's get this set together. And he started cutting some stuff, and then he cleaned it up a little bit. While we was out there on tour, how he wanted it to basically transfer over, foul by foul. So yeah, we was out there, man, like smashing. It was fun, man. A lot of us, it was packed shows. It was a real good time out there.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope, man. That's real cool, man. I'm glad I got to see that. That picture was like, it's one of those things, like the same thing we just said, like a little Eazy-E, and it's like y'all have different just ways you're taking, your lane or whatever, but just seeing you being able to be a part of that legacy and that it's continuing through the bloodline. We were just talking about that right now, like the legacies of just black families and black people in general being passed down and creating something. It's an amazing thing. It's a real good thing to see.
Yeah, and I definitely can't wait to drop more. So because it's been a little bit now. So now I'm jumping back in it.
Yeah.
With anything in business, you want to make sure all your business is correct before you start back smashing. So it's coming. Trust and believe.
So let everybody know what you got coming up next and where everybody can find you at.
Definitely got a music and medicine project coming up, and then Product of My DNA, and then it's a strong, like a full-on strong campaign launch with the tours, on the medicinal side and everything.
Okay.
And then basically just just the whole album, everything, the outlook of it is feel good content with a strong message behind it, positive, So actually, I think we need more of that in this world today.
Yeah, real talk. All right, so we go ahead and get out of here and get to this break. But it was good talking to you, man. Like for real, it was definitely a really good talk.
Follow me on the Mr. Curtis Young on Instagram.
Mr. Curtis Young on Instagram.
Curtis Young Official on the Facebooks, and Curtis Young on the YouTube as well. And Mr. Curtis Young on Twitter too. So
yeah. And we're gonna shoot you a little invite to our event next week. We'll get you a full VIP. We'll get you like maybe 2 or 3 of them things.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
All right, no
Thank
problem,
you
man.
for having me.
No problem.
All right.
Yeah, we're going, bro.
Blessings.
All right, we're gonna get to this young break. We're gonna continue this young panel, and so yeah, go ahead, Young T. Let's make this young money.
The Hub Radio.
Cleanup Man. We provide professional, affordable, dependable services from carpet cleaning and upholstery to flooring, 7 days a week, same day or by appointment. So call, text, or message 562-279-6488 for service as good as advertised.
Allow me to give you something to think about. Not everything that comes out of Compton is bad. I mean, we have Dr. Dre, The Game, Kendrick Lamar, Venus and Serena Williams, that little girl with the dream, Mayor Aja Brown. P. Diddy couldn't have said it better. This is the fairy tale, man. And fairy tales do come true because we got millions of cats that are coming up with that hustling spirit and drive. They got that mention in it, that drive. Bill Lyons had that drive to overcome all obstacles. Bill Lyons isn't just a clothing line or just a brand. It's a movement. Bill Lyons is Compton. Compton is Bill Lyons. Respect the perspective. Bill Lyons.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
What if they started making Trump lace fronts? He ain't got no hair up there, but it's all down there. And I mean, it's fine. I don't give a shit. I'm not fucking her.
Well, we all know now she's a natural brunette.
A couple minutes.
Oh,
Steve Harvey,
and we already made it clear. Scumbag Society always will say fuck Steve Harvey.
Fuck that nigga, Steve. Fuck you. Fuck your mustache. Fuck the lady who used to
Straight
make
like
your
that.
wigs.
Be careful. When we're not around our own, it's certain shit that we just don't say.
That's true because we don't want them to get accustomed to thinking that they should be able to.
So I have to catch myself because I've said nigga before in front of white people and I kind of like pull back like, wait, I don't want them to think this is cool.
Right. Tune in every Thursday from 7 to 9 to the Scumbag Society Radio on thehubradio.net.
The Hub Radio.
Coco's Lip Smacking Cupcakes offers custom cakes and cupcakes for every occasion. We proudly bake everything from scratch. With every moist and mouth-watering bite, you will be smacking your lips by the time you are finished. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Lip Smacking Cupcakes.
Everybody, we are back in the place to be, thehubradio.net. This is Tea Time. I'm Witty B. You already know what it is. We're having a great conversation on hip-hop stuff. So we're going to get back into the panel. We just talked to my man Curtis Young, got a little bit to know about like his life, which was dope because everybody's always talking about, you know, just his father and like you're his father's son. Yeah, you ugly. Hey, look just like his daddy though.
Man, he do. Even the nostrils.
Down to the nostrils. So we're gonna get back into this the panels. I wanted to get back into basically where we left off, which was talking about the digital era and how it's changed. It's changed music. It's changed everything, but how it's changed hip hop in general. So we talked a little bit about how it's changed, just like the independence in artists and things like that. Some people say it's created an oversaturation. It's because it's got rid of all the filters, but it's also giving people who may not have having a voice before, is giving them a voice and giving them the ability to say something and speak out. But the digital era and the internet in general is a double-edged sword on all aspects. So in hip hop and just in entertainment, where it's given everybody the ability to be out there, it's also been very invasive of privacy and in personal lives. So we have seen a lot of things, that maybe we didn't see before, maybe that's just coming out now that, really kind of like we have to address in the hip-hop culture and the community. The main thing that I want to talk about right now is domestic abuse and sexual assault, with artists like Kodak Black and XXXTentacion, and the list goes on with Famous Dex, Rich the Kid, Nelly getting caught up on stuff, which I'm not completely 100% sure what happened with Nelly, but just in general, and even going down the line to the, way back, he ain't got nothing to do with hip hop, but just like our culture in general, and maybe just like celeb culture, Bill Cosby, and things that would never be seen or would never been talked about, or without the digital era. When it comes to hip hop, is this something that you guys feel like is new and has become developing in this new generation, and is being recorded, or is it something that has been in the community and it's just now a light's been shining on it?
It's definitely always been there. I think with the internet age, we get access to information a lot faster. Before we would have to count on the news or like TMZ and stuff to tell us what's going on. Now we have somebody that's in the hallway with a camera. They can post it on their personal Facebook page, and now we see everything.
Or footage from a hotel thing.
Right. Somebody will leak that, so we have access to all kinds of stuff, and it spreads so fast. It spreads so fast. You can upload a video right now and have 1 million views before the day is over.
Right.
I think it's just, I think because of that, it makes it seem like this is a new thing, but it's not at all. Absolutely not.
Where do you guys feel like that is stemming from? And like, if it's definitely, because it's definitely not a new thing. I feel the same way. Something it's just being seen now. But I mean, I don't want to put shade on anybody. But even things that Dre got caught up with, and artists like that, things that all these artists got caught up with back in the day. It wasn't talked about as much as it is now, and they weren't getting caught up like that like they are now. Like Kodak Black's about to lose. This is his third time being on trial for a whole another situation.
He was accused. It's definitely, you see it constantly throughout the history of hip hop.
But it's so much easier to prove nowadays too. Like a side chick, can be like, yeah, but your nigga really was texting my phone. Like, not gonna pull up. Back in the day, you kind of had to like try to catch him slipping on his pager or follow him to where he was going. Or, I mean, it's so many openings to that. Like, it's crazy. You can't hide nothing. And they say even when you delete your shit, it still stays and so you can still pull that up, and that's how that's how a lot of these artists are getting caught up, because it's right there. It's like same thing with Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
I mean, before they were able to hide it, like you said, and now it's just like because not everybody is real. You know what I'm saying? Like because either they don't want us to see that, or it's like not in a sense where they don't want us to see it because they're fake, but they don't want us to see it because it's their personal life. Like everybody does what they do. You know what I'm saying?
And I think that's I want to take it and make it a pro. Like that's the cool thing about technology now. Back then when we see our idols in magazines, we're like, oh my gosh, she's so perfect. But then it kind of like levels you out. Like, I'm not so bad. Like, these people are regular people too. They fuck up too, regardless of what it may be. Like, that kind of allows us to not feel like we have to put anyone above us if nobody's even made that understanding within themselves yet. Like, we're all just people, and some people are just on a higher platform, so eyes are constantly on them.
Yeah.
If people saw half the shit we did, they'd probably be like, I never knew you did that. Or I mean, it could be bad or good. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, well, yeah, I have fucked up, but you don't know me or have the interest to want to know me like that right now, to just be like, let me peek and see what she's been through these past couple years. You know what I'm saying? So technology definitely, like I said, it's in the palm of your hand.
So this is something I just thought of right now when it comes to that. Do you guys feel like when it comes to, cause especially just in, I mean, everybody gets caught up. And I don't know. I don't know if that's a general, I mean, if that's a valid point. But do you guys feel like things like this are being used in the hip-hop community and culture against the hip-hop community and culture?
You mean like domestic violence and things like that?
Issues that can be dealt with within the community and culture become something that brands the entire community, and that
I feel like when it comes to serious things like domestic violence and sexual assault, if you are caught doing it, you don't really have room to want that to be undercover, because I feel like that at that point what you're doing is violating and changing somebody else's life that didn't ask you for this. Right. So even though we can address it within our community, and we should be addressing it within our community, the moment we all find out you've been beating up your girlfriend, you've lost all rights to privacy. Right. I don't care who you are, what you did. At that point, someone's life is in danger, and that's not okay. So I mean, that's kind of where I draw like it's hard, because you don't want people to be commenting on things within our community because you feel like they have no say. But then when it comes to things like domestic violence, that's serious.
Yeah.
Right. That's not a game.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess the question then, to kind of try to curve this, is where does this stem from? I mean, it's definitely like it's been in the community from a while now. It's probably traces back further than, we even, can go back ourselves.
You mean like the idea of them feeling like they can do it without there being any consequences? Is that?
I guess that, and just the sense of,
because that's what it's been. Because OJ got off for killing his wife.
That's
true. Be real, he did it. So,
that's true.
There are some people that got off, and there are some people. It depends on what your, what's the word? Like what resources you have.
Is it a celebrity thing? Is it?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a celebrity thing, because it goes back to how the silver spoon thing. Usually, like, if a white kid is on drugs or they're going through something, when you're young enough, they put you through therapy, you get help. As black people, we don't get that help. Our parents don't have the money to put us in shit, so we find other ways, music, drawing, whatever, but we still have those issues. And we've been neglected so much, opposed to getting us the help. They're so fast to throw us in jail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like we have to fight literally through that shit. So then when we do finally make it, it's kind of like, yeah, nigga, I'm untouchable. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, I could do this. What the fuck they gonna do to me? Yeah. And they're quick to remind you, nope, nigga, we're taking all this. We're taking your albums. We're taking your music. And we're gonna leave your ass in jail. You know what I mean? Because there was no proper...
It's interesting. Yeah, right. I was talking. You was gonna say something? Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna add to that, like, it's because they don't have those people around them to kind of show them that, like, they can be unstoppable, but not in a sense of being like, what's the word? Like, where you can never die. What's that word?
Invincible or immortal.
Yeah, immortal. Not in a sense of being immortal, but just in a sense of, like, you can be the best that you can be. And the fact that we have all this going around of people, like, negating, like, black people and whatnot, it's just, it sucks. Because you can't, like, it only takes like one person to reach out to that person that's maybe fucking up or may not realize that they can be the best thing that they can be. But yeah, like, these other people have those resources where they grew up in a good life and stuff like that.
Now, and that's basically same thing I was gonna say. Coming off of that, I had a conversation with Cam before. It's like all these, no matter what they are now, they were all babies at one point. They're all pure something else, and so they weren't born monsters. They weren't born women beaters. They weren't born, rapists. They weren't born angry. They weren't born confused. This is stuff that, like I said, happened along the way, and they had nobody to guide them through this pain or how to deal with this. And then when they get around people who are just gonna be enablers, there's nothing to stop them. At that point, they are unstoppable. They're not immortal, but if you got $1 million and everybody around you is there because of that $1 million, and you have, just been in and out of jail your entire life because you have no guidance in your life, and so maybe I guess that would be the root of it. So, I mean, I guess to talk about how do you stop that, I mean, we talked about it on another show, I guess, would be just to talk about it more.
It's personal accountability. At the end of the day, when you're an adult, you know right from wrong, regardless of how much money you have. You know you shouldn't be putting your hands on nobody.
Yeah.
You know killing people is wrong. It doesn't matter.
But you can't. You can't
change.
change these people. But how do we stop this as a trend? How do we stop this as like a generational thing that's being passed on and happening?
Because it's free will. At the end of the day,
I don't think it's about trying to stop it. Or I think it's more of a sense of trying to
be more outspoken about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like I don't want to say cover up either, but in a sense covering it up so that your group gets bigger or like your movement gets bigger, so that people are ignoring that and then they end up forgetting about it, and then like now you have this whole new movement where like it's all about just moving up from here. Yeah.
The community needs to deal with it more as a whole.
There's no way to just be like, okay, just stop this shit. It's been going on for so many years.
Hundreds of years.
But there is a way to distract these people. Obviously, we can just distract them in some way. Why not do it positive?
Do you support? So, like, say if, you know, like especially with a trend in artists doing this, and like a lot of artists, you know, they'll go do their time, wash their hands with it, pay their fines, wash their hands with it, come back. It happens again, wash their hands with it, come back. Do you, as these being like the people who are funding these artists, do you punish them or protest them like we protest the NFL? So will we protest, say, like a Kodak Black, or protest, say, like a X,
like
Triple X, calling them out or just not listening to their music, not going to their shows until
me personally, that's what I do.
Until they change or until they, you know, really show that they've made some kind of
consequence. For them. Nah.
That's what I do, because I really feel like me continuing to put money in your pocket means I condone the way that what you're doing. So I feel like I can't support you. I mean, I may really like, I really like Chris Brown, but he can't keep his hands to himself. Like, so I got to stop that. That's kind of where I'm at. And my view of it may be a little different because of like where I came from and having been like a domestic violence victim. So my tolerance is very different than, say, somebody that's seen it but hasn't really experienced it. They might be like, oh, you know, whatever the case. But me being like, no, I've been through this shit and it's fucked up. My thoughts are gonna be a little bit. Right. So as far as me, I boycott. I don't fuck with.
Yeah, but I also think going along with boycotting, if you are like boycotting in a sense, you should be making that like a strong stance to maybe get other people to do the same thing, because I say this a lot where I believe that you know, you have so many people that think that have a different meaning of success, like so many people that are like, well, this is the way to get to the top, but then this person's like, well, no, this is the way to get to the top. You know what I'm saying? So we all have our different mindsets of how to get to the top, and the I guess the issue is to get those people to be on the same mindset to get to the top, because you can't have these people getting to the top this way and then this way. Like, how is that coming together? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
I mean, at the end of the day, you can't really change anybody's mindset.
I know that's
understand.
We can change the community around it so it's not so accepted.
Yeah.
So like right now, it's like, you know, it's okay.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I think it's a big thing. Yeah, because as a community, we are. I mean, the whole thing is just, you know, we gonna do what we want. You know, let everybody do what they want to do.
You know, I think it comes from just like being down like as a community for so many hundreds of years. We're doing a lot better. We're making strides, but I don't really think that as a community, I don't really think we have enough respect for ourselves right now.
To be able to check
ourselves. We don't love ourselves.
Like that.
We don't. Yeah. We hear it in the way we talk about each other, and I'm not. Hey, Asia. So we're not. It's not in a sense of like. I don't know how to put it. Like, we don't love ourselves enough to respect each other, and it's one of those things like. When your mother had a really bad relationship with your father and you look like your father, so she treats you like shit because she sees your father in you. I think we're looking at each other and all we're seeing is that dirty black they're telling us that we are. And we mistreat each other all the time. Because when you think about it, like, whiteness is the epitome of, like, perfection, technically, based on what they tell us and things like that. So you have it from, you know, I think, like, growing up in Compton in the 90s, being dark-skinned was, like, horrible. Like, it was a horrible thing. Like, I got told all the time, you'd be one of the prettier girls if you weren't dark. Like, that was kind of like what the thing was about it. And I think that comes from a lot of self-hate. So, like, I didn't even grow up in hip-hop. I grew up listening to rock and stuff because I had that anti-blackness. Yeah. You know, I didn't want to be black. I hated being black. I hated being dark. I hated my, you know, I don't even have, like, super kinky hair, but I hated it anyway. I wanted straight hair. So, it's like unlearning a lot of these things. And at the same time, we have to unlearn the way that we treat each other, honestly.
Right.
So, I wanted to, on a lighter note, I mean, so... I don't want to just stop it there with me, but definitely, we just got to talk about it. We just got to have to check ourselves and love ourselves more in the community. It's a community thing. We can't allow, right now anyway, for the outside world to be our judge, jury, and executioner. We have to be. Not saying that we got to kill each other because, but we definitely got to
check each other
before it gets to that point.
Now, and even like our generation, like starting all these businesses and collaborating on businesses and stuff like that. We're at an age now where soon we're going to be the majority. Those people that came before us are going to start dying out very soon. And so it's up to us in this generation to figure out what are our standards, what are we okay with, what are we not okay with. And we have to start changing that and just teaching our children different.
So on a lighter note, I wanted to do something while we have this little bit of time before we get into this break. And probably going to bleed into our final thoughts. I want to do a top 5. Everybody does this when they do hip-hop panels.
Jesus.
This is the hardest thing to do.
Okay, top 5.
And so we're going to do top 5 all time. We're going to try to get a definitive top 5. We don't get it, whatever. Okay. At least we talked about it. Special top 5?
Special top 5.
What you mean special top 5? You mean with like
the qualification. Like top 5.
Top 5.
Oh, so instead of hip hop, like top 5 lyrics.
Well,
top
let's
5
do it like that then. Let's break it down like that.
Okay.
We'll find. It's gonna take a minute, but let's try to break it down in all of these categories: flow, lyrics, content, consistency, and impact. Let's find the person who was in the top in that category.
Okay.
So we'll start with, and for all time, definitive, no matter when they, it can be now, but back then it could be dead. It don't matter. All time best flow in hip hop.
Kendrick has the craziest flow I've ever heard.
Okay.
Kendrick Lamar on the table.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chance the Rapper.
Chance the Rapper on the table.
Yeah. Is it like Live or Dead?
Live or Dead, yeah.
Cause I fucks with Tupac. Like
his flow. You feel like his flow was the best?
He got a more chill. Yeah.
I'm a roll with Nas.
Nas on the flow.
Okay.
That's what I was gonna say.
That's true.
I feel like Busta Rhymes is the king of the flow.
True.
The fuck out of Busta Rhymes.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody got a flow like his.
No, nobody.
And I stand behind this. That's the only man I've heard out rap Eminem twice on record.
Don't nobody do that. In M's prime. In M's prime. Not M now.
M now and in his prime. They just made another.
Yeah. With the superhero cover, right? Yeah. Busta Rhymes is an animal. Oh, you hit the blunt?
No, I said I didn't hear that one.
Oh, what you remember what it's called? I forgot what it was called.
But it's Busta Rhymes and Eminem just there.
They only got 2 records together.
They got that I Hurt You.
Yes,
thing or two. He worked it. They both killed it, but yeah, Busta Rhymes he the only one who can really keep up with him like that, and that's saying something.
He's a genius. I don't even think people realize it because he had like the fun songs like Plastic Bossy and shit.
Right.
But it's like if you listen to a Busta Rhymes album, like. You're going on a trip the whole time.
Right.
Like, nigga, wait, what the fuck?
How do you even write this?
Like,
you gotta be rewinding it back.
Yeah.
I gotta look this up. What is it? Like, it's crazy.
Like,
I love him.
everybody got a good cadence. Like, Pac, I feel like he had a good cadence. He got a good voice. Yeah. But it's like, I can figure out Pac's writing style. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How the fuck do you write a Busta Rhymes verse? Like, how do you write a nod your head? Not only was he rapping fast, he had that bounce in it as well.
Yeah,
so it was like,
it wasn't like, wait, he's rapping too fast. Turn it off. It was like, in the beat.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It was funky and fast at the same time.
Loved him.
You could definitely catch it.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think we all on Busta for that one.
You saying, I think
Kendrick is a close second.
I will give it to Kendrick. Yeah. I like Kendrick's flow. I think he's.
Hey, Jasmine.
He's very he's such a character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like Eminem was such a character too. You know what I mean? But Kendrick gives you so many different sides. You can't even put him in one box. It's impossible because it's like, but wait, he does this too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just when you think he's gonna take you right there, he takes you over here.
Yeah. Right. And that's just me, like that Compton pride. I'm like, that's my nigga. Like, you know, he makes me real proud to be from here. I say that last album, I was just like, damn,
it was really good.
Like for real.
He's real experimental, well educated, so his stuff is like coming from all over the place.
He's gonna hit the track when he does it.
He does.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, how did you even make that work?
Yeah.
It doesn't even make sense right there. Like,
I know. To the beginning, and then you come in and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna do that track. I don't know what I'm doing. You know?
Like that fucking Control verse was crazy.
Yeah, no.
That was crazy.
All his flows come out, and it's crazy because he always does. He doesn't keep where a lot of artists, even with Busta, even though I still gotta give it to Busta for being like the original. he switches it up every time, where everybody has that same cadence, that or that
Yeah.
Kendrick doesn't have that. You don't know.
Yeah. Kendrick doesn't have a flow that you can say this
A
is Kendrick's flow.
He just gets on it and it just happens.
There's been like I didn't when his album came out, I didn't listen to the whole thing. So when I started hearing like other people play, I'm like, this is Kendrick. Like I would be like, wait, that don't sound like him. Yep. You know.
So we'll give it to Busta, but we'll give Kendrick the honorable mention on there. Yeah. All right, so then after Love Flow, we gotta go to lyrics. Who had the best lyrics? So I'm not saying content, so not necessarily what you're talking about, is what you're saying and how like you're putting it together.
Like punchlines and shit.
So it can be if you have good content, but it's how you're putting that content together.
Okay.
Man, look, I'm kind of stunned. Hold on.
Content.
Okay, so I'm not the biggest rap head. I'm more on the R&B side.
Okay.
So with that being the disclaimer, I'm gonna go for Drake on that one.
You go for Drake?
I can see that.
I'm gonna say Big Sean.
You gonna say Big Sean?
His wordplay is stupid. It's
would,
like he's really creative.
You gonna give him the all time?
No, all time.
All time.
No, he's just a credible one.
Oh shit.
I mean, I would put Big Sean in a different category though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it in
I'm rocking with Black Thought or J. Cole. Just because.
Outkast all time.
Okay.
Outkast all time.
Outkast all time.
I didn't think about
because
Outkast.
You got Andre 3000 and Big Boy.
I'm gonna have to go with you on that one.
I'm gonna have to agree on Andre though.
Yeah, like Andre
3000 by himself is like whoa.
I'm gonna have to go with Andre. Yeah.
Hey, so what's your disclaimer with the whole
what was the category?
Did you hear Erykah Badu
lyrics?
And,
just lyrics.
Yes,
not
I
content.
did. I loved it.
And the way he danced.
Yeah. Bro, I fucks with because I fucks with Erykah Badu on the highest of highs, but Andre, and then I like how Andre be coming out like out of nowhere.
True.
Because you don't even really think to know that he was on Beyonce's party.
Wait, I didn't.
You don't remember?
He's on the original track, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
He just kind of comes in, and same thing on
I don't
the Drake
think I ever
album.
realized that.
What song was that? The Drake album.
With
something her.
The
real her.
Yeah.
He sure was on that one.
Exactly. He took the last verse, but like Wayne and Drake were on it, but you're like, oh shit, Andre is on this song. He does it on Frank Ocean's albums.
I forgot about that.
I would say he's definitely probably like the best to have in the most unconventional style.
Yeah.
Like he's the father at like doing stuff that you probably wasn't expecting him to do.
Right.
Being able to say a whole lot, say something with impact, but say it real, say some cool shit.
Yeah.
Metaphors.
Like a certain suave to him,
yeah.
Like Cool Cat, all
Like songs like Rosa Parks or The Whole World.
Yeah.
Where he was the lyrics were killing, but if you like really listen to it, like first you can listen like, damn, he's killing it. But if you really listen, it's always like some kind of message deep in the background with all the metaphors and the crazy cadences that he. I would say Andre on all time. He's probably the lyrical.
Yeah.
So why are we not putting Eminem in this conversation?
Because
you said of all time, Eminem has been slack in the last couple years. Andre's always on it.
Andre hasn't dropped a real project yet.
Nah.
But he's been on enough other songs though in the last couple years.
Still have that clout.
He's still bouncing around. Eminem hasn't been really doing it. He's been working on like his companies and shit.
That's true.
Because when Eminem falls off the face of the earth, he be gone.
Yeah.
Andre will at least
he
come
be
out
gone
and do
too.
some stuff here.
Andre peeks in, like he be on albums.
Yeah, he does.
He be on the album.
He be like, let me step in this.
Right.
So y'all would give Andre 3000 over M?
Yeah.
Woo. Okay. I think we gotta go into this break. All right, we're gonna take this break right now. We probably gonna do all the time. We got what we got for the flow? Who we pick? Busta. Best all time flow. And we got Andre 3000 for best all time lyrics.
Yeah.
Whew. Oh my goodness, it's tight. All right, so let's get this break. Whenever you're ready, T, we can get this money.
Who's called black teens or black kids super predators. You have Donald Trump, who's openly racist.
Is there any regret that you got into a name-calling situation with the president?
No.
Trying to remind folks, think about the pain that he may be expressing about somebody who's lost a loved one that they think was unfairly shot.
First, thank you for having me. Obviously, an awful, awful day for our entire country. Yet another senseless tragedy right here at home.
This is Daphne Evans reporting live at the Brown residence. Justin Brown was mistaken as a suspect in a recent robbery. Looks like another unarmed black man gunned down again.
Awful, awful day for our entire country. Yet another senseless tragedy right here.
Do you have information?
You know, I did talk to law enforcement today. I know there's going to be a press conference with the governor. I don't have additional details to provide beyond what they have said until that press conference. I will say that I happen to be near that area this morning.
If your metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you.
They thought I only rapped about murder and pistols. I'm trying to feed my family, I ain't being political. You ain't giving out money, then they look at you pitiful. You make a couple million, niggas greedy, they envy. Hey, fuck that other side, we gon' shoot up your sprinter. I used to sell that crack and spray that Mac out that rim. Niggas running high when they brought in that winter. Got a stendo in a hoodie, he can't wait till December. Got a stendo in a hoodie, he gon' shoot you on camera. Lost his faith in Jesus Christ, he praying to a bandana. Police gun his brother down and shit too hard to handle. Loading up his chopper, he gon' show him black lives matter. Another nigga made the news, ain't nothing new. He done dropped out of school, it ain't nothing new. He done got his first tool, it ain't nothing new. Mama on that dog food, it ain't nothing new. He smoking weed and he changing, it ain't nothing new. All his friends gang banging, it ain't nothing new. Got a pocket full of hundreds and they all blue. Another nigga from the hood tryna ball too. Nah, for real. Shit getting outrageous. Treat us like slaves and they lock us up in cages. Young black poor ain't had a father since a baby. Why you think we skip school and hang out on the pavement? Why you think we ride around with choppers all safe? Why streets cutthroat, niggas so I'm cutthroat. I used to sell dope, nigga, now I can't vote. Popping Percocets to kill the pain, I can't cope. Anger in my jeans, they used to hang us up with ropes. Civil rights came, so they flood the hood with coke. Breaking down my people, trying to kill our faith and hope. They killed Martin Luther King and all he did was spoke. Welcome to the hood, yeah, where niggas dying at. Same place where the best chicken getting fried at. Same place where the police killing, telling lies at. It ain't just the babies, man, I swear the mama's crying out. Another nigga made the news, ain't nothing new. He done dropped out of school, it ain't nothing new. He done got his first tool, it ain't nothing new. Mama on that dog food, it ain't nothing new. He smoking weed and he changing, it ain't nothing new. All his friends gang banging, it ain't nothing new. Got a pocket full of hundreds and they all blue. Another nigga from the hood tryna ball too. Nah, for real.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Tea time on the Hub Radio. You already know what it is. We're going to get back into this countdown on the top 5. I wanted to really get this because we're coming up with some interesting people. So we got Busta for the flow. We got Andre 3000 for the lyrics. So who has the best content? And this is, so best content, this is what you're saying. This is not necessarily how you're saying it, is what you're saying.
Credit Kendrick for that.
I'm going with Jay-Z.
You know what? I think I'm going to go with Jay-Z too. Because Jay-Z always was giving the game in every single album. Yeah.
To this day.
To this day.
It's factual.
That's all he ever talks about. Yeah, giving you literally the blueprint to the game. Yeah.
I can see that.
I would say maybe my Pac would probably be my other,
Okay, I can see Pac.
But I just feel like just over time, just Jay-Z just had the advantage of being around longer, and you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to say Jay.
But I mean, even though Jay be spitting game, like Eminem is, he be telling it like it is.
True.
You know what? I feel like that's a hard one because depending on like what your life was like and what they spoke to. Like M would be for me because he got me through some hard shit.
Yep.
Like I like Jay a lot, but I wouldn't choose him.
Would you
I
want
would
it
choose
personally
M.
then?
Yeah.
For me, Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne? I can see
one
that.
too,
I can see that.
But
You know what? Wayne should have been in the conversation for lyrics.
Yeah, I mean, but like.
There's so many people out there I be forgetting.
That too.
Like,
yeah, because Wayne's metaphors are stupid.
You know what?
Sky's the Limit was like my shit for a year. For a year. I was like, nigga, did he just wait? Start the whole thing over.
Yeah.
Start it over.
He was the metaphor king. I think we have to put him up there with lyrics. Maybe it's the honorable mention for the lyrics. Because he probably had more metaphors and burnt out more metaphors than anybody. Like, you can't even say a rhyme without it being something that Wayne said now. Wayne done said everything. Wayne done said everything, been a rhyme by everything, everyone. It's crazy. Content, though, M, I like that, how you put that. M, he definitely was like somebody who was speaking from a different place and was able to speak for a whole different, group of people.
Angry white boy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna kill my mom. Like, yeah.
Or you know what? M made it. He helped me cope with the idea that everyone's mom is not great, and I had that fucked up mom, and it was like, okay, I'm not by myself. And for me, that was serious. And then my dad not being around, so that was serious for me,
I had to hustle my back to the wall, ashy knuckles, pocket real with a lot of lint.
Man.
I relate to Jay more. That's it.
Maybe when it comes to content, that's something you gotta relate. Cause I was just like, what about Nas? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't relate to nothing Nas says. To be 100% honest, like
he's hard
cool,
as fuck. But like content, like nigga, look, I'm from Orange County, okay? I don't know what you talking about.
That's
this shit is hot though, but I'm just like, I don't know shit.
He was spitting real New York game, where Jay-Z was more universal game, and Eminem was more like a universal feeling of like anger. Yeah, I can see that.
Being pissed off is okay. He was,
Yeah.
Even though I had some other issues just as a black woman and anger to deal with, let's not. But just in general, it's
that's
cool
a tough
to
one.
be pissed off.
I really, you know what? And Eminem's probably Eminem's Prime is probably my favorite artist of all time. So that's tough. But
Yeah, because he is different now.
I'm saying, but you compare Jay-Z has not only been rapping longer than Eminem.
Yeah.
he stayed more relevant.
Yeah.
Because even when he left and came back with the Show Me What You Got single, it was on. He said, y'all got less than 2 months to get y'all shit together. And where is that nigga? Married to Beyonce. With 3 motherfucking kids running shit.
Yeah, Jay retired twice, came back with the hottest albums. He retired, came out with the Black Album, retired, came out with Kingdom Come. And can't forget the American Gangster album.
Spitting nothing but game. Giving you
nothing but game.
But you know what? That crossover album he did with Linkin Park is probably one of my favorite albums.
That shit is
I'm gonna give it to Jay. I'm gonna give it to Jay with content.
That shit was dope.
Early 2000s?
He do got some dope ass collabs.
Yeah.
That shit was dope. Okay, let's give it to Jay.
We'll give it to Jay. Alright. So this is gonna be a tough one because Jay already has content now.
Okay.
So who's gonna get consistency?
Jay definitely would get consistent. He would have get that.
I know. Who's been doing it longer than Jay? Nope.
Would you
E40?
give it?
What are you talking about?
You give it to 40?
40.
E40.
Consistency?
Wait, what about Snoop?
E40 drops an album like every day.
E40. E40 be on everybody's song.
No, you know who I would really give consistency? Well, maybe just at a certain time period. Wiz was consistent as fuck for a long time.
He was, but not long enough for a long time.
I would give it to Gucci. I would give it to Gucci.
Yeah. You know what? I'm giving that to you. I'm giving that.
Juice Man and Juicy.
I would say
all the niggas put that trap shit
I would
on.
say that's between Gucci and Lil Wayne. Those two, they got the most.
I'm gonna
give it to Wayne. I'm gonna give it to Wayne. I'm gonna give it to Wayne.
Yeah, but Gucci is over here on people's shit in jail though.
Yeah.
He's locked up.
So was Wayne. Wayne ran the
that
game. He had the whole game on lock while he was in jail.
Yes.
He was in jail. He was on everybody's song. He had an album out. Had a mixtape out.
If we gonna do that, if we gotta give it to what's that other trap nigga? Oh, come back to me.
He trapped. Consistently, who you about to talk about? Who
Lil Boosie, nigga.
Boosie?
Mixtape for days.
That's true.
Mixtape
Bro.
for days.
Dang,
Dude came back with no juice and murk.
You ain't got no.
It's hard because like I feel you on that, but I fucked with Gucci like his style and everything at one point in time like so hard.
Even now, he just dropped the hit record with Drake. Like,
That, right?
Yeah.
But Wayne was out with the Hot Boys. He was the lead, and he was the lead man of the Hot Boys. There would be no Gucci if there was no Wayne.
Wayne was running shit for like 20 years. Though.
Yeah, he been killing since 14. Like,
No, 12, nigga.
Yeah.
He was 12.
He been the man since 12. He been
I'm about to say, because that nigga, he been hot.
He just starting to fall off. Wayne been the man since he been in like since he been in the game.
Cash money, nigga. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to give.
I'm gonna give it to Wayne.
Gucci
Yeah.
is definitely right behind him.
I would give it to Gucci. Okay. So last one before we end the show, Impact. Who made the most impact in the game?
In the game.
B.I.G.
I'm running with Biggie.
You run with Biggie?
B.I.G. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm from the West Coast and I love Tupac, but
You got Tupac's up there though. Like
That's what I mean. Like
they both will have to be there.
I mean, give them like an East Coast, West Coast thing because I fucks with. I fucks with Tupac.
I mean, there's always other names you can throw up there: Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, Jay-Z.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna say Tupac just because
Wait,
he's
are we
dead
talking about
and
people that
he
strictly
already
just rap?
like.
We talking about people that do everything.
NWA.
Most
Who are you about to say?
Is a rapper.
And is a rapper.
Yeah.
Who are you about to say?
I don't know why I'm thinking Kanye for real.
I can see that. Yes.
Because not just on the mic before he even started rapping, he was doing a lot.
If we talking about current, I will rock with Chief Keef.
Yeah, I forgot about Chief Keef.
Yeah, for the new kids, yeah.
I'm still gonna go with Kanye. I feel like Kanye, he is the creator of the sound. That is just everything when it comes to like
popular the big
production and the beats and
Jay-Z, J. Cole, Drake, Kanye, fucking Kendrick. The big three. They all you can hear Kanye's influence in each one of them.
Yeah.
Chance is the next one. You can hear Kanye's influence definitely in Chance's music. He definitely influenced the
look,
mainstream culture.
I'm saying, let me just add this to Tupac though. He dead and people is still fucking with his shit. People are still inspired from him. You know what I'm saying? When I think of impact, it's like that's a very big deal because don't you want to leave an impact on somebody?
That the only reason he's even leaving a mark like that is because of the way he died and the infamous, like, because no one knows.
Either way, like his lyrics,
but even still to
say
become
something. Like his lyrics are still inspiring. Like he got inspirational songs that are like, you know, you can do what the fuck you want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Kanye may have mastered the sound of this generation, and Pac is probably literally in the backbone of every single artist.
Yeah, everybody refers
rap
to
artist.
him.
It's probably Pac.
Nigga wrote a poetry book.
Yeah, without Pac,
if you don't like rap,
you know, you probably been no Biggie, and we probably would have still had a lot of artists. If there was no Pac, I feel like everything would have been completely different. I feel like things would have been pop way before, a lot sooner. And
if there was no Biggie, think of how much of Jay-Z's music wouldn't exist.
That's true.
Nas, Jadakiss.
True.
Even that's where hip hop originated.
True.
That works out like a whole section of hip hop.
But then you can't even ignore like the people that even started hip hop. Period. The first few rap people that came out.
So
So even though they might not have that lasting like infamous, if it wasn't for them paving the way.
So do you give impact to like Run?
Okay, so like
definitely.
Biggie could have that impact.
You know what? That one's gonna be open because we got time. That's gonna be open for discretion. We gotta shout out the show real quick. So we got the Smoke Out LA coming up next week. That's Saturday, October 21st. I'll be performing. We got Extra coming out. We got Tony Diamonds. We got Lyric Kane. We got Dre Blue coming out. There's gonna be Slice of Pie giving everybody medicated pizza, regular pizza. We got all kind of treats. There's gonna be giveaways and all kind of fun stuff. You can go online, find us on our Instagram right now. Compton Tea Time, my Instagram and Witty Banner. You can go find us on our Facebook at New Harmony or Tea Time to find the link. Get your tickets right now at Eventbrite.com. You just find us on Eventbrite, the Smoke Out LA. We got VIP tickets. It's going to get you some food items. It's going to get you a gift bag. It's going to get you access to VIP areas. And you also have the regular admission. You can come in and party with us. It's going to be a dope night. Honestly, come through. She got the camera on me right now.
Nah, she got it on.
Oh, she on herself. She been over here flexing the whole time. But we all know we gotta end this show. It's been another great episode of Tea Time on HubRadio.net. You already know what it is. We'll be back next week. I don't know who we got just yet. We got somebody, and we'll be smoking some more again. So yeah, let's get this money, T.
The Hub Radio.
Tea Time on HubRadio.net.